Okay, so the next question is having to do with kids. It says, Steve, I'm having trouble motivating my kid to do anything, like get a job. Do you have any suggestions on how to make my child understand personal responsibility?
I don't know your kid. It sounds like they're a teenager. Uh, that was something that I kind of, well, in my home, I didn't wait for it. I didn't wait until they were a teenager to start talking about personal responsibility, and so consequently, I didn't have some of the struggles that people have when I hear something like that. And I don't want to judge this whole thing without having all the information, because I don't. But I would never have in my home. I would never go along with my kid just giving them everything that they want until they're 15 years old or 16 years old, and then say, go get a job. It was always the kind of thing where I'm teaching them to grow up as we go. And so my kids worked with me. Out in I have 4 acres, so they worked with me outside, and my kids did housework and that kind of thing, babysitting, all of that kind of stuff growing up, and we allowed them to buy certain things, and I'm a big giver to my kids, but if my kids wanted certain things, then I invited them to go out and get the money and get them themselves, right. and so that kind of thing. And so there are obvious consequences to not working, and if you've got a teenager that doesn't want to work, a good thing to do is take away some of the benefits that are being given to them. So for example, if I don't work, I don't get clothes. If I don't work, I don't eat. And I'm not saying starve your kid, but when I was in high school, I was in my family was poor. My mom did not have the money to buy me the things that I wanted, and so I had to get a job. And so if I wanted a certain style of Levi's, which was just plain Levi's in my case, I had to go get a job. And if I wanted certain shoes, I had to get a job. If I wanted to play sports, I had to buy my sports equipment, and so it was something that was needed. And so if I had a kid that was being lazy and needed to have the real world come in on them, I would probably withdraw a lot of the stuff that I was giving them, and then tell them, hey, you got to go get a job. Real life is going to be like this. Nobody's going to take care of you. So
yeah. I like what you said about having them work with you out in the yard and stuff. I was thinking about that. My dad had me work with him a lot. The first job I had was mowing lawns. Mm-hmm. And so he took me out and taught me how to keep my lines straight and how to use a weed eater in the appropriate way to trim a sidewalk, and just working with him and even getting yelled at. I remember hated getting yelled at, but it was good for working with a boss later on. And so, that's really good. It was the same way for me too. We had if we wanted some extra things, then we had to buy them ourselves. Yep. And, for us growing up, it was either you play sports or you get a job, but you can't come home after school. You have to do something. Right. You're not going to come home and the whole video game thing. My mom kept that at a very minimum. Yeah, for sure. And
in my house, it was play sports and get a job, because I wanted to play sports and again, to do that, I had to have a job. So I worked nights.
I actually did too. Later on my senior year.
Yep.
Yeah.